The volcanic ash crisis is causing severe disruption. That goes without saying. We're fortunate here at Cranfield in having expertise both in the economy and the business perspective and the technical, the atmospheric measurement angle. We sent our reporter onto the airfield, first of all, to interview Sean Rickard, who will examine the business and economic implications.
What are the economic consequences of the volcanic eruption?
Well, it really depends how long it goes on for, but what we do know is that every day they're losing several tens of millions of pounds, the airlines and the airports. But I rather suspect a much bigger cost is actually increasingly borne by businesses that depend on the airlines to move freight around. Indeed, we know the supermarkets are beginning to run short of fruit and some vegetables. There must be many businesses that require air transport in order to move specialist products around the world. And of course, there's the holiday companies and business travel. So I think the answer is really, if it were just 2 or 3 days, the airlines would catch up, the airports would catch up again, a lot of inconvenience for some people, but the economic cost, not a great deal. As the days go by, the economic cost is beginning to multiply up to such an extent, I suspect, that if this is not solved within a week or two, this economy will be pushing back into recession. We are so organised now to depend on air transport in this globalised world of ours that is coming to an end, as it were, for even a 2 or 3 week period has an enormous cost on our economy.
We're now going over to Guy Grattan, who's going to explain some of the implications from the atmospheric measurement point of view.
What's the latest information you're getting from your measurements?
Well, right at the moment we're seeing the ash plume across the UK very, very layered and very, very inconsistent in density. So we can fly from virtually no apparent ash at all, and then 1,000 feet above or below we can get quite high concentrations. So whilst the Met Office plots are showing a lowish mean level of ash around the UK, that's not the whole picture, because that's an average, and we're getting very variable values and sometimes quite high peaks.
So the pressure under from aviation or industry, there's not much you can do about it?
The aviation industry are jumping up and down, desperate to be able to fly again. The various national authorities around Europe are understandably being very cautious. The big problem is that nobody actually knows what is an acceptable level of volcanic ash that you can fly an aeroplane in. And when they've worked that out, if they work that out, they don't know whether that corresponds to average values or the peak values that we know we're still getting. So it's almost an unanswerable question at the moment.
And then the schedule over the next few days in terms of flights and more experiments, is that going to continue?
We're flying the ARSF Dornier in from Staverton twice a day. We're about to whip around some instruments tonight, and then the BA-146, which is based here at Cranfield, is going to fly, we hope, tomorrow. And that will probably be a single flight with a LiDAR, downward-facing laser radar, on board to try and get a general profile of the atmosphere over the UK from high altitude. Then we're going to put it back in the hangar and get a better instrument fit on it.
So there we have it, 2 different perspectives on a very real crisis. If it continues, we'll pick this up again.